Getting Ungated to sell big brands and categories on Amazon FBA in 2025 is a big roadblock for 99% of beginner Amazon sellers. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 websites you can use to get Ungated quick in 2025, even as a complete beginner starting with no sales history. Make sure to watch through the end of this video because there's tons of misconceptions about the ungating game and tons of things beginner Amazon sellers get wrong, and the 5th site's the best. Most people don't know there's tons of auto-ungate products you can sell right away from the get-go without even providing documentation to Amazon, so I'll leave a link down below in the description for my Auto-Ungate product sourcing guide you can check out right after this video. So keep in mind, guys, it is completely normal to get declined when you're applying for ungating. It's just a part of how Amazon's system works. However, you just keep resubmitting with the same information. So you might see some people in the comments of this video that maybe didn't watch the entire thing saying that, oh, this site doesn't work or this site doesn't work. But if you think about it, all Amazon wants is you to prove that the items you're selling on their platform are legit. Unfortunately, their system does decline a few times, typically around 5 to 15 times per brand. However, sometimes it's going to be less than that. Sometimes it's going to be more than that. You just keep submitting the documentation you get from these big websites I'm about to go through in this video. And at the end, I'm also going to show you a big list of auto-ungate brands too as well. So the first site that I actually use for toy ungating for the toy category as well as certain toy brands, sometimes you have to apply for both, is EE Distribution right here, which is a legit wholesaler. You can look it up. They've been in business for a while. I originally used it for the toy ungate back in 2021 here. You do have to go through the process of creating an account here on EE Distribution, but it's excellent for lots of toy brands. They might even have other stuff on here as well. And the documentation they give on Amazon is really, really good here. I don't even think I got declined once using EE Distribution for toys here. However, don't see this like a problem. There's no penalty for getting denied or anything. You just get it quicker and start selling those items quicker. And if you're unfamiliar with what ungating is basically Amazon's way of avoiding fake products being sold on their platform, where they make you prove that the items you're selling on the platform are legit, typically by way of submitting invoices or order confirmation emails for 10 plus of a specific product. So some websites, for example, have an order limit of 6. You just do 2 orders of 5 or 2 orders of 6 in that case. You just need an invoice or order confirmation email or multiple that total to 10 plus. Do them all in one combined PDF. You can find a nice PDF combiner on Google. A lot of people freak out about like formal invoices or asking the sites or anything for formal invoices. I would recommend just using the order confirmation email downloaded as PDF. Even if Amazon says like, oh, we don't take order confirmations, we're still seeing those work completely. I've used them quite literally hundreds of times for hundreds of brands on Amazon. So don't worry about what Amazon says in those denial emails that you're going to get. It's completely normal right there. Don't see it as something you're doing wrong here. So EE Distribution is really good to go ahead and knock out certain toy brands and the toy category. It's also important to note, guys, that sometimes different categories will be gated and sometimes different brands will be gated and sometimes they'll be both. For example, with toys, it's typically both to start, but the beauty category is auto-ungated, so you only have to do specific brands there, as well as the shoes and clothing category is auto-ungated. You don't even need to apply or anything like that. You just need to do specific brands. The second site I love for ungating in 2025 is going to be Costco, or really any of those big wholesalers like BJ's or Sam's Club or anything like that. You have to think about it. If Amazon's going to trust anyone, they're going to trust the biggest sellers of name brand products in the entire world here. So for example, Costco online here, I wouldn't really ever recommend trying ungating from in-store places, for example, like Goodwill or, in-store at Grocery Outlet or Ollie's is really never going to work. You do want to save those documentations, those in-store receipts, because those do work for inauthentic complaints or IP complaints, but personally not really seeing in-store receipts work. We're just seeing online order confirmation emails work for ungating in 2025 here. So say you buy like 10 of something on Costco that you also find listed on Amazon. That's a really important thing. You need to see those items actually listed on Amazon. Then you go over on Amazon Seller Central after downloading that order confirmation email as a PDF. You go to add products in the top left, then you put in the ASIN right there. And then you go ahead and submit, just check all the boxes right there and add in that documentation nice and easy right there. Costco, Sam's Club, BJ's, all those work for ungating. Once again, and I say this just because people in the comments are going to be like, oh, I got declined, this doesn't work. Getting declines completely normal. Ask any seasoned Amazon seller. They're going to tell you the exact same thing right there. This third site I love for ungating in 2025 is Walmart. And the reasoning on that is because Walmart has tons of brands that only Walmart carries. So we know for a fact that Walmart order confirmation emails work, because if you ask Walmart customer service for an invoice, they're not going to be able to give you one, which completely validates that Walmart order confirmation emails work. I've personally used them. I just want to obviously provide further evidence of that here. So Walmart, for example, one example of that is Great Value here. Another one that I've really seen only come from Walmart. This one approves incredibly quick here if you want to really validate this fast is And1. I think And1 might not be owned by Walmart, but I think they have exclusive relationship ship here. There's certain brands at Lowe's that are the same way. Lowe's obviously works too. Gigantic site, and Home Depot as well right there. But And1, for example, is a brand, I think it only comes from Walmart, or at least maybe it's owned by Walmart here. Approves really, really quick. Great value is another example of that. Say you wanted to get And1 really quick, we just go ahead and see these And1 basketball shorts here, and then we just want to go ahead, extra large. Go ahead and plug these in, XL right there, and we can see, boom. Yeah, okay, those are actually probably profitable too. Yeah, check that out right there. We can see, 100 plus bought right there. Buy box at 24, buy cost 10. Walmart, you can also use your sales tax permit here as well, so you don't have to pay sales tax if you submit that documentation to Walmart's tax exempt program. Another thing is you don't need an LLC to get started with ungating. You don't even need an LLC to have an Amazon account in the first place. A lot of people have that backwards there, so you don't need an LLC to sell on Amazon, nor to get ungated. You can do it as a sole proprietor. I don't know your personal situation, but I'm just telling you the rules right there. The other example of sites I love, prior to the best one, is actually going to be brand websites. So obviously, big suppliers are going to weak. Home Depot, Walmart, Target, those ones we just talked about, Costco, but also the brand websites are going to work. And the nice thing is most products, for the most part, really only come from one or two places. So we know for a fact that those brand websites are going to work. For example, if you look up Calvin Klein, it's a big enough brand. It probably comes from a couple different places, but the Calvin Klein website is obviously going to be the most accurate in terms of proving that the item's actually legit to Amazon right there. So a couple examples of that, like calvinklein.com, brand website for Calvin Klein. Tommy Hilfiger here is the brand website for Tommy Hilfiger right there as well. Same thing with J. Crew Factory right here. That's actually is an Autogate, but I just want to show you a further example of a brand website right there as well. And the nice thing is when you Google a product doing reverse sourcing for online arbitrage, which I have a bunch of videos on in my channel, pretty quickly you start to realize that most brands only come from one or two places right there. And then therefore we know for a fact that those websites work for ungating. My favorite website for ungating in 2025, just based on the documentation they give, the order confirmation emails show the information really nicely laid out, and shouldn't let like Walmart hide some information for whatever reason, but we're still seeing Walmart work, is Target. Target invoice and documentation are really good. You could probably get a formal invoice from Target too as well. Target does have order limits on certain products. You might have to do multiple orders on certain brands that limit you to like 4 per cart. Nice and easy to use PDF combiner right there. But for example, all we have to do to get ungated using Target, say we search up like jockey, for example, then we just have to find a jockey product that's also listed on Amazon, searching those up right here. And then we buy 10 or multiple orders that combine to 10 and submit that documentation off to Amazon, titled something nice and professional like ASIN _invoice _date or brand _invoice _date. And you can also add in a lot more documentation to those as well. It doesn't just have to be the order confirmation email. I like, as more purchase documentation comes in, the shipping email, the credit card statement, the delivery email, a picture of the product, add in more files right there. And it's just going to make the file better and more convincing for Amazon. Because like I said, you are going to get declined sometimes. It's completely normal. You're not doing anything wrong. There's no penalty for submitting a bunch for ungating. So understand it's a game of attrition. A lot of people quit and get really, really discouraged. They look at what Amazon says in the denial emails. It's just how it works. They just want to see that your products you're selling are legit. And this is a feature, not a bug, because it gets a lot of people really, really discouraged sometimes when it might take 15 or 20 tries or even more. But some brands, like for whatever And1, tends to approve really quick, but it is just a game of probability and continuing to submit. A nice thing too is the more products you sell on Amazon, the more stuff is going to end up being automatic approval. We typically see around 2,000 in sales, and this is obviously unique for every account, but lots more stuff becomes auto ungate too. It is important to note, guys, that certain big brands like Nike, Lego, and Puma are what's called hard gated on Amazon right now. When you go to list a product and it says copy listing or we're not taking applications to sell, that means that brand is currently hard gated, where they don't want people selling it on the platform. In like April of 2024, Nike did that on Amazon, and it was clearly just Amazon wanted to avoid fake products being sold on their platform. It's been closed since, so make sure you only go ahead and try to get ungated on products you can see that you can add it to catalog, request approval, and apply to sell, and then go ahead and add that documentation for it as well on Amazon. So a big summary of the ungating game, guys. You're going to get declined. That's completely normal. Keep resubmitting. Don't look at what Amazon says, those denial emails. Keep adding more information to your file. The more you sell, the more it becomes auto ungate as well. And all big suppliers work in 2025. You can't ungate using in-store receipts. You can using order confirmation emails and invoices that you get from customer service, as well as instantly when you place an order. Also, guys, we do have a big list of auto ungate products. So these are brands that automatically approve you. Just go ahead and put in some of these ASINs. I'll leave a link down below in the description right there. They're blacked out right here, but the list is completely free. Certain quick wins like Danner, Stafford, Athletic Works, J.Crew Mercantile are literally going to let you list them right away, even on a brand new account with no prior sales history. They're just going to say after you hit add a product, either list it right away or make you a request approval and apply to sell, and then you'll list it right away. So it's an auto ungate if it takes you right to the add a product, put in the pricing, SKU, etc. page, and it's not an auto ungate if it asks you to provide documentation right there. But this video showed you that entire process. All right, guys, so make sure you go through the auto ungate list down below and then check out this video right here, which is a full auto ungate sourcing guide to show you how to find products fast that are profitable that you don't even need to submit documentation for right there. Although remember, guys, even as a complete beginner, you can get ungated using documents. Totally recommend using some auto ungate ASINs and getting the ball rolling with that too, while you provide documentation for certain brands you found profitable that did require ungating. Subscribe for more. No one's giving out this level of free game. See you guys in the next one.